I know that if they went clubbing, they are at least not hostile to being talked to. I know that if they do not want to talk to me, they will just signal it verbally or through body language. Rationally, I know that. But when the moment comes, I freeze up and can't muster the courage. I thought it was because I do not drink. I drank and hated it. I thought it was because going out with friends would not force me to get out of my comfort zone and talk to strangers. I went alone, so I had no other option to talk to people, even if out of boredom. I thought it was feeling unconfident due to not dressing well enough. I volunteered. Nothing helped tonight. I just spent a night drunk and alone, in a nice suit, constantly trying to gather my nerves and talk to someone and constantly failing at it. I used the October 10th 10 rule, but even after realizing that 10 months, hell, even 10 minutes, from now it would not matter, I could not bring myself to do it. At some point, I even came across an acquaintance who introduced me to four friends of his, three women and one man. I lowered the bar out of desperation and decided that having a conversation with any of them would be enough for me to stop the night. Besides some initial pleasantries, I could not hold a conversation with any of them for more than three sentences. Please help me. I'm 27 already. This kind of stuff should be sorted out by now. I should be able to at least interact with a stranger. How can I dream about ever being a father if I am not even capable of meeting random strangers, let alone the future mother of my children?
Well, oh yeah, that's a pretty tough one. Social anxiety is a very big issue, and you can't let yourself get down on that. There are other ways that you can kind of alleviate some of the pressure from social anxiety. For example, apparently you're not good at talking in crowds because you're telling me that you were at a club at the bar getting drunk and you didn't even have a conversation with the bartender who's paid to talk to you. uh I would tell you that you'd have to find smaller groups. You would probably have to, one of the things that guys go out in groups for is the wingman scenario, where you have at least one trusted friend, whether it be male or female. Usually, the male ones are a little bit better off if their goal is to get out there and get you talking. The females are going to be better if you're not trying to hook up with another chick. But having a wingman or a wing woman to get out there and help you interact with other people is going to be better for you to get started with your ability to talk. If you have not been in a relationship for a while, and you became a hermit because of that last relationship, you still have to get over the emotional trauma before you will feel comfortable with communicating with other people. However, the same way people are more comfortable with verbalizing themselves in the workforce and they're not as comfortable with verbalizing themselves in a social atmosphere, you may have to perform a hobby or an activity with somebody and then try to develop a conversation with them in addition to that. For example, instead of going to a nightclub, maybe share a lane with somebody at a bowling alley, um, or go to a skating ring, or go to read a book like a bookstore, Barnes and Nobles, or something like that. Starbucks. Starbucks is, when they're not protesting, Starbucks is a good place to talk to people. But the thing is that you still have to develop that courage to talk to somebody else. Now, if you have a wingman or a wing woman, there's a strong possibility that you can bring them with you. They can start the conversation and try to introduce you to the other person, but then you still have to have that confidence and that courage to continue the conversation going forward. There isn't a lot of advice to get you to break yourself out of that shell, besides if you're going to do it um, over social media, where you're going to like gamer forums where you're communicating with people on the forum, and then after that you start trying to communicate with people in person. If you're doing WhatsApp or WeChat or Snapchat or Skype or something like that, where you're trying to communicate with somebody on video call, and then you want to build yourself up to communicating with people in person, there are transitionary phases that you can try to help you with getting yourself out there and getting your information on the table. But the issue that you have is that you're probably not going to see the success that you're looking for from long-term interactions with somebody unless you take the initiative, even if it's a one-on-one where you talk to a female at the grocery store while she's trying to buy some melons. Compliment her melons and then compliment the fruit in her hand. And I can more than assure you that something will shake out of that. Now, will it turn into a lifelong relationship? That's yet to be seen. But your confidence in yourself and your capabilities to understand that the worst that somebody can do is say no loud enough for everybody in the room to hear you. Men have to accept rejection. So you have to accept the consequences of your engagement before you start performing the engagement. If you expect to be rejected and you walk over there without a care in the world, assuming this rejection is going to come and you're going to remain positive regardless of the fact, when you don't get rejected, you will take a sigh of relief and maintain conversation.